They'll be in the second year of a pilot program that will let them use salt to clear up any slick spots. This in addition to a de-icer agent. And few details are being released, but here's what we have confirmed right now. As he was leaving the scene, Medford Police Chief Tim George confirmed there was an officer-involved shooting. Scroll all the way to the bottom to the government alerts and turn on the Amber Alerts. The water's just right for the first swim lesson of the year. This after dozens of swimmers already turned out for the first open swim earlier today. Neighbors on one street in Eagle Point are upset about a shady situation under a shady tree. Earlier today, veterans could be seen crossing Crater Lake Highway looking for a cup of coffee or to go to the convenience store. Along the way, they were talking about the norovirus. Skiers and snowboarders came out to Mount Ashland on Friday to enjoy the remaining snow, and one of the final days the lifts will be open. Helicopters have been dipping into 4 Mile Lake to aid in a firefight since Monday afternoon. All the while, swimmers and fishermen have had a front row view. 2 helicopters made dozens of drops Tuesday morning as the launch fire burns more than 100 acres. The fire is burning just on the other side of 4 Mile Lake's campsites.
When we first got here, we started setting up camp, and then a helicopter landed right out here in front of us, start sucking up water, so we got a good view of that.
While campers were on standby and waiting to see if they should evacuate, Mary Lou Zielinski went for a swim.
It was exciting. I could see it much better from the middle of the lake.
Zielinski says she frequents the lake and is typically the only swimmer. Tuesday, she took in the action while treading water.
The snow burning really badly on the trees, and you can see some fire coming up from the trees.
The cause of the fire is officially undetermined, although some campers believe it to be human-caused after seeing a campfire in that area the night before the fire was reported. Fire crews and resources have to be escorted by boat to the fire, passing fisherman Jim Fuller along the way.
The amount of devastation that's showing, from what the little bit of fire's done. But it's absolutely amazing watching these helicopter guys work.
While the firefight will continue, use of the lake by recreators will not, as evacuations are now in place. At 4 Mile Lake, Rob Scott, Newswatch 12.
We have a number of clients. We patrol either their residence, we patrol their business.
Wednesday was a more normal day for home and business concierge officer Jim Cadenhead. The same can't be said for last Friday, when he found himself running from flames.
It seemed like an hour and a half, but it was probably no more than about 20 minutes.
It all started Friday afternoon when Cadenhead was on patrol at a home high above Grants Pass. He got a call from his officer asking for the family's contact information to make sure they were safe. It was at that time he found out there was a fire growing below him. He waited a few minutes while people below explained his best escape route.
Then I got a call back saying, no, the road's no good. The road's no good. You're not going to be able to get out that way. Don't risk it.
That's when he took off.
I left the car. I grabbed the stuff that I had, shot right down through here.
The terrain proved to be rough and challenging, but Cadenhead says the adrenaline kept him moving.
Once I turned and started to go down that, it's a whole different ballgame. It's torn up. There's trees that have been cut that are hidden in the grass.
He was heading due east down the hill when he decided to shift south to get to safety as quickly as possible.
I figured that's my best bet. My best bet to get down below this thing as quickly as I can and get out of here.
Once the flames died down and the smoke began to clear, Cadenhead says he realized just how fortunate he was.
I could see the damage. Then I realized what a really lucky guy I am, because I was.
East Main Street ended up being closed down, but not before it became an ice rink for some drivers. While cars were sliding down East Main Street, Jeremy Withrow and his friend stepped up to lend a push to those who needed it.
Oh, another Mustang, all right.
About a quarter of an inch of ice built up, and some cars were trying to take a chance and drive down the hill. The slick roads caused cars to get stuck or slide down, sideways.
Crazy, slippery commotion going on. I mean, there's cars sliding all over the place. This right here is just one solid sheet of ice, and it gets worse as you get up the hill here.
By early evening, East Main Street closed down at Ashland Avenue, but not before Carrie Harris tried to get home.
Just got off work at 5 o'clock and came outside and tried to drive home, and that's not going to happen.
She wasn't the only one, and Withrow was able to push her car and get her slowly back on track. just another one of the dozens of cars helped by the Good Samaritans.
And thankfully there's some guys here to help me pull off to the side of the road.
Other drivers weren't going to take a risk and decided chains were the best bet, even if they didn't have any on hand.
So we walked all the way over to the auto parts store and had to buy chains to get out of here.
Withrow says snow is not unusual, but the way East Main Street froze is something he hasn't seen in a long time.
I just don't like to see people get hurt, you know. I want to make sure everybody's safe and keep everything as safe as I possibly can.
Only a few flurries are falling right now, but the cold weather remains, and the snow that has fallen and the ice that has formed could likely remain overnight and into tomorrow morning. Live in Medford, Rob Scott, Newswatch 12.